Hi students, up to now we had discussed the topics called alcohols and phenols in the chapter alcohols, phenols and ethers. In this video we are going to discuss about the preparation of the ethers and their chemical properties. So let's start the session, that is with the ethers. We know about the ethers. The ethers are the group of atoms in which the both sides of the oxygen there are the alkyl groups, or one side there may be alkyl group or one side there may be aryl group in the case of alkyl aryl ethers. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the preparation of the ethers. We are well familiar about the ethanol. Yes, the ethanol is the major source for the preparation of the ethers, and this ethanol on dehydration will give the ether, or it may give the alkene based on the conditions, that is temperature conditions. Generally the ethanol will be reacted with a protic acid. Protic means the one that gives H plus ions. Based on the condition, the product may be an alkene or the product may be an ether. So let us see how to prepare the ethers from the ethanol. We are going to study that the ethanol is going to undergo dehydration. What is ethanol is going to undergo? Dehydration. So let us see the form of equation. The first preparation is dehydration of ethanol. Dehydration of ethanol. Dehydration means to remove a molecule of water. Our ethanol, once we react with any protic acids like concentrated H2SO4, we know this equation at 443 Kelvin, it is going to give an alkene. What is it going to give? An alkene. But the same reaction, we take up the ethanol, and once we change the temperature condition, that is only 413 Kelvin, the product is not going to be an alkene, but the product is going to be an diethyl ether. What is the product going to be? An diethyl ether. And how is it going to take place? Now we will observe. A small change in the temperature is going to change the product. Here, the so-called diethyl ether will be obtained from a protonated alcohol. What is meant by a protonated alcohol? Protonated alcohol means the alcohol is initially reacted with some protic acid, that H2SO4. Let us take, this is our ethanol. What is this one? Our ethanol. So protonated alcohol, first of all the alcohol need to be protonated. Sulfuric acid will be giving the H plus ions. The H plus ions given from the sulfuric acid, they are deficient of electrons. The lone pairs present on the oxygen will be given for this H plus ions, and they are going to form CH3, CH2, OH, hydrogen and H plus. So this is the point that we call this one as an protonated alcohol. Here the protonated alcohol, the oxygen is deficient of electrons as it had donated the lone pairs. Now there is a positive charge on the oxygen. What will the oxygen will do? It is going to withdraw the bonded electron pairs from the carbon. Means the carbon is going to develop a partial positive charge on it. It is going to become the electron deficient center. It is in need of electrons now. So this happens just to generate the protonated alcohol. In the second step, we are going to use the second mole of another ethanol. One more ethanol we are going to use. That is CH3, CH2, OH. This is the second mole of the ethanol. It is going to be added for this protonated alcohol. Added for the protonated alcohol. We have already discussed on the carbon there is a partial positive charge because oxygen is withdrawing the electrons towards to it from the sigma bond. Now the alcohol lone pairs that are present on the oxygen are going to be donated for the carbon atom. Are going to be donated for the carbon atom. It is in need of the electrons. And these group of atoms, they are going to be eliminated. They are going to be eliminated in the form of H2O. So let us see the next equation. What we are going to get here? CH3, CH2, O. I am writing the hydrogen below. The lone pair was donated, so oxygen is getting a positive charge. Now there is a bond between oxygen and the so-called carbon, CH2, CH3, and these molecules are removed in the form of water. See what is the bond that the oxygen got? Oxygen got a new oxygen-carbon bond, and in this so-called intermediate, we are having an oxygen bearing a positive charge. There are two ethyl groups and also a hydrogen. In this case, the hydrogen will be given out in the form of the H plus. How is the hydrogen given out in the form of the H plus? Because it is the starting reagent we are using, that is H plus generated from the acid. The catalyst will be leaving out the reaction. So the oxygen is going to withdraw the electrons from the hydrogen, resulting CH3, CH2, O, CH2, CH3. And also the H plus was eliminated. So this is what the mechanism that goes on in the preparation of an diethyl ether. Once we react the so-called ethanol with constant H2SO4 at 413 Kelvin. This overall mechanism follows the bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. Which one does this one follow? Bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. That it is going to follow the SN2 mechanism. It is going to follow the SN2 mechanism. The rate of the reaction depends upon leaving and also entering nucleophile. So we have got the ether from the protonated alcohol. So let us see the second most preparation of the ethers. Let us see the second most preparation of the ether. Very important for the board examinations. Williamson synthesis. What is the one called as the Williamson synthesis? What is the reaction going on here? We are going to take two reactants majorly. One reactant is an alkoxide ion. One reactant is an alkoxide ion. Another one reactant is an primary alkyl halide. What is another reactant? Primary alkyl halide. These are the two major reactants here. By this we can get our so-called ethers. Let us take a general equation that shows the preparation of the ethers. See, alkoxide ion means the RO minus is called as an alkoxide ion. It will be stabilized with an sodium ion. So this is called as sodium alkoxide ion. This is called as the sodium alkoxide ion. It is going to be reacted with an primary alkyl halide. What is a primary alkyl halide? The alkyl halides in which the halogen is bonded to a carbon, and in return the carbon may be bonded to another one carbon. It is called as the primary alkyl halide. What is the nature of the primary alkyl halide? Halogen is an electron withdrawing group. It is going to withdraw the electrons from the alkyl group by minus I effect. By which effect? Minus I effect. So that the halogen is going to develop a partial negative charge and the alkyl group is going to develop a partial positive charge. This results in very polar nature, this one. And now we can see the alkoxide, sodium alkoxide. These alkoxide ions, they can act as nucleophiles. What is a nucleophile? Electron rich center that donates the electrons to the electrophile. Or it can act also as a base. That can act as also a base. When do this will act as a nucleophile? When do this will act as a base? This will act as a nucleophile when the primary alkyl halide is taken as another reactant. And it acts as a base when we take an tertiary alkyl halide. These are the two most important things we must not forget here. Okay. Now we have taken the sodium alkoxide ion. In this case, it is going to act like a nucleophile. So it is going to donate the negative charge to the electrophile. We can find the electrophile. And the X and the sodium, they are going to be removed in the form of NaX. The remaining part is ROR. These alkyl groups are alkyl groups. They may be symmetrical or unsymmetrical. We can prepare symmetrical ethers and also we can prepare the unsymmetrical ethers. Both kind of ethers can be prepared by this method. By which method? By the Williamson synthesis method. So if they ask you to write the definition, how do you write? Reacting an alkoxide with an alkyl halide gives the ethers and also the sodium halide. This is what we call as the Williamson synthesis. Let us take one example. Conditions are, most condition is alkyl halide must be a primary alkyl halide. We can even prepare the substituted ethers. What can we also prepare? The substituted ethers. What is the substituted ether? If you see a symmetrical ether, you can have CH3OCH3. Means both alkyl groups are the same. Unsymmetrical ether. On one side, one alkyl may be and 2 carbon chain. On another side is a 1 carbon chain. Then what is the substituted ether? Substituted ether is the one in which on one side there is no branching, whereas on another side we can come across the branched carbon. We can come across the branched carbon. So that is called as the substituted ether. Let us take one example how to prepare a substituted ether. So let us take the reactants in this reaction. That is example number 1. We can find an alkoxide ion, the sodium alkoxide ion. It is the isobutyl group. So shall I call sodium isobutoxide ion. Sodium isobutoxide ion. And CH3Br. Always haloalkanes will be prefixed. This is called bromomethane. What kind of alkyl halide is this one? It is only a primary alkyl halide. Only a primary alkyl halide. We understood that the bond between bromine and carbon, when we studied, bromine is an electron withdrawing group. It is withdrawing electron towards to it. So carbon got a partial positive charge on it. Whenever our alkyl halide we study our alkoxide ion, this is going to act like a nucleophile. What is it going to act like? A nucleophile. Means it will give electrons for the electrophile. So this negative charge is going to give electrons for the carbon, and the bromine is going to be withdrawn out. So let us see here. It is going to form CH3, CO, CH3, CH3 and NaBr. This is what we call it as an substituted ether, because in the carbon chain here we got a substitution, so it is called as the substituted ether. But let us change the reactants. That is, we will take a tertiary alkyl halide and we will take a simple sodium alkoxide. Then what will be the products we will observe now? Let us take the example number 2 here. Now study the reactants first. In the case of beryllium ether synthesis, you must study the reactants. Beryllium synthesis means alkyl halide must be a primary alkyl halide. But what is the nature of this alkyl halide? Let us see here. Halogen is bonded to a carbon. In return, the carbon is bonded to 3 other carbons. So what kind of alkyl halide is this one? It is an tertiary alkyl halide. It is an tertiary alkyl halide. Very good. Now we have the sodium methoxide. Sodium methoxide. To be strictly speaking, the alkoxide, this is the alkoxide, it will act like a base when we use the tertiary alkyl halide. When we use the tertiary alkyl halide, please observe the bromine is bonded to a carbon. In return, it is withdrawing the electrons from the nearest carbon. I have represented 3 hydrogens. Now I am representing 1 hydrogen above. So in return, what this carbon will do? It will withdraw electrons from the carbon, and in turn the carbon will withdraw the electrons from hydrogen. See, in this reaction, when we are going to observe which kind of reaction will take place here, means this will also follow the SN2 mechanism. What mechanism this is going to follow? SN2 mechanism. But the point here is, when the bromine is withdrawing electrons from carbon, the carbon will withdraw electrons from nearest carbon, and it will withdraw the electrons from hydrogen. It is going to develop a partial positive charge on it. Means, can you see, it is like an electrophile in nature. But here, what are bases? Bases can take up the H plus ion. They can take up the H plus ion. In this case, this is going to act like the basic part that is going to take up the H plus ion. when it is going to take up the H plus ion, the product is going to be CH3OH. What is the product? CH3OH. And now the remaining part, bromine and sodium are remain. The sodium and bromine, they are left over as sodium bromide. And now there is going to be a double bond between these two carbons. We are observing CH3, C double bond CH3. Here this H plus when left, the carbon will get a negative charge. The bromine when it is leaving a negative charge, this carbon will get a positive charge. So these will have a new bond between them. So what do we call here? It is an alkene. It is an alkene. So when an alkene will be obtained means when we have chosen a tertiary alkyl halide and an alkoxide, then we will get an alkene instead of an ether. So this is the basic condition. Among the preparations we had discussed the dehydration of alcohols as the first preparation, and we had also discussed the second preparation, beryllium synthesis. Now we are going to discuss the chemical properties of the ethers. Don't forget that ethers are the least reactive functional groups. They are the least reactive functional groups. And now in these ethers, ROR, which type of bond cleavage takes place means the bond between oxygen and carbon will be cleavage or break down. So we are going to discuss the cleavage of CO bond in ethers. When do this cleavage takes place? This cleavage takes place when the ether is reacted with an alkyl halide. And hydrogen halide. When it is reacted with an hydrogen halide. Hydrogen halide, it is called HX. HX. The halogen may be hydrogen bromide, hydrogen chloride, or we can take hydrogen iodide. When we go through the halogens group, that is group 17, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. We will not discuss about fluorine reactions here. Top to bottom in a group, atomic radius increases. Means the distance will be increasing from nucleus to outermost. So, which type of hydrogen halide is readily reactive? In this case, E is the one that is having more atomic radius. We can see chlorine, bromine and iodine. Among them, iodine is having more atomic radius. So the hydrogen halide is considered in the order of hydrogen iodide is more reactive than hydrogen bromide, that is more reactive than hydrogen chloride. So let us see what happens when this hydrogen halide is reacted with our ether. One of the carbon-oxygen bond will be cleaved. We don't know what it will be. So this part, it will be like a negatively charged part. And here, once we see, this is partial positive, partial negative. So the negatively charged oxygen will be giving electrons for the hydrogen, forming ROH, and the remaining part, that is RX, alkyl halide. Alkyl halide means when the cleavage of CO bond in ether takes place, the major product will be alkyl halide. The alkyl halide. See, in this reaction we got an alcohol. In this alcohol, the ROH group will be further involving are reacting with the hydrogen halide such that the OH group will be reacting with hydrogen to form water, and also the alkyne will react with halogen to form alkyl halide. So what we say is, in the case of